3JS, it's Miss Solomon, and I'm here to get back to the Tale of Despereaux. And today we're going to read two more chapters, chapter 21 and 22. So chapter 21 is The Queen's Last Words. The Queen loved soup. She loved soup more than anything in the world except for the Princess Pea and the King. And because the Queen loved it, soup was served in the castle for every banquet, every lunch, and every dinner. Funny enough, my kids love soup, and they could eat soup for every lunch and every dinner, not for breakfast. And what soup it was! Cook's love and admiration for the Queen and her palate moved the broth that she concocted from the level of mere food to high art. On this particular day, for this particular banquet, Cook had outdone herself. The soup was a masterwork, a delicate mingling of chicken, watercress, and garlic. Roscoe, as he surfaced from the bottom of the Queen's capacious bowl, could not help taking a few appreciative sips. Lovely, he said, distracted for a moment from the mystery of his existence. Delightful. See, shouted the Pea. See, she stood. She pointed her finger right at Roscoe. It is a rat! I told you that it was a rat. He was hanging from the chandelier, and now he is in Mama's soup. The musicians stopped playing their guitars. The jugglers stopped juggling. The noble people stopped eating. The Queen looked at Roscoe. The Roscoe looked at the Queen. Reader, in the spirit of honesty, I must utter a difficult and unsavory truth. Rats are not beautiful creatures. They are not even cute. They are, really, rather nasty beasts, particularly if one happens to appear in your bowl of soup with pieces of watercress clinging to his whiskers. There was a long moment of silence, and then Roscoe said to the Queen, I beg your pardon. In response, the Queen flung her spoon into the air and made an incredible noise, a noise that was in no way worthy of a queen, a noise somewhere between the neigh of a horse and the squeal of a pig, a noise that sounded something like this. Meek! The Queen was really a simple soul, and always her whole life had done nothing except state the overly obvious. There is a rat in my soup, she said. What? There is a rat in my soup, were the last words she uttered. She clutched her chest and fell over backward. I'm sorry I scared you. Her royal chair hit the floor with a thump, and the banquet hall exploded. Spoons were dropped. Chairs were flung back. Save her, thundered the King. You must save her. All the King's men ran to try and rescue the Queen. Roscoe climbed out of the bowl of soup. He felt that under the circumstances, it would be better if he left. What do you think, 3JS? As he crawled across the tablecloth, he remembered the words of the prisoner in the dungeon, his regret that he did not look back at his daughter as he left her, and so Roscoe turned. He looked back, and he saw that the princess was glaring at him. Her eyes were filled with disgust and anger. Go back to the dungeon, was what the look she gave him said. Go back into the dungeon where you belong. Did you think that rats do not have hearts? Wrong. This look, reader, this look broke Roscoe's heart. All living things have a heart, and the heart of any living thing can be broken. If the rat had not looked over his shoulder, perhaps his heart would not have been broken, and it is possible then that I would not have a story to tell. But reader, he did look. And now we're on to the next chapter. Chapter 22, he puts his heart together again. Roscoe hurried from the banquet hall. A rat, he said. He put a paw over his heart. I am a rat, and there is no light for rats. There will be no light for me. The King's men were still bent over the Queen. The King was still shouting, Save her, save her! And the Queen was still dead. Of course, when Roscoe encountered the Queen's royal soup spoons lying on the floor. I will have something beautiful, he said aloud. I am a rat, but I will have something beautiful. I will have a crown of my own. He picked up the spoon. He put it on his head. I will have something beautiful, and I will have revenge. And here's a picture of Roscoe with a spoon on his head. Interesting choice for a crown. Yes, said Roscoe, I will have something beautiful, and I will have revenge. Both things, somehow. There are those hearts, reader, that never mend again once they are broken. Or if they do mend, they heal themselves in a crooked and lopsided way. They heal as if they're sewn together by a careless craftsman. Such was the fate of Roscoe. His heart was broken. Picking up the spoon and placing it on his head. Speaking of revenge, these things helped him put his heart together again. But it was, alas, put together wrong. Where is the rat? Shouted the king. Find that rat! If you want me, muttered Roscoe, as he left the banquet hall, I will be in the dungeon in the darkness. And that is the end of chapter 22. Tomorrow we will read chapter 23, which is called Consequences.